not want, in essence, to be a distraction, knowing that the incoming president had other thoughts in mind. He talked about the fact that this nation is under considerable threat and that must be the continued focus of the FBI. The country is currently under all kinds of threats that the FBI is running down and tracking. And it's clear that he wants to have as much of a continuity as possible. But Diane, I think the key here is how long would it take to get a new FBI director confirmed, given the fact that the country is facing these unprecedented threats?
Pierre, what does that process look like?
Well, the process looks like we have Kash Patel on Capitol Hill. He's been making the case to senators. It's unclear how quickly they might be able to vote. We know that there are background checks that have to be done by investigators for the Senate. So we'll have to see how long that plays out. But make no mistake, this interim period, from the time from which the FBI director steps down until a new director is confirmed, will be a critical one for the country.
And Pierre, in this address to employees, Wray talks about not wanting to drag the Bureau deeper into the fray. What do you think he means by that?
Well, clearly, President-elect Trump has talked about the fact that he, did not have confidence, did not like Christopher Wray in the position. Again, the FBI director serves a 10-year term. Christopher Wray was in the midst of the 7th year of his term. He had 3 more years to go. And the tradition has been is that the FBI director performs beyond administrations, more than one administration, to create the semblance of independence and so that they can do the job without that notion. But clearly, FBI Director Wray had been involved in the investigation of former President Trump, now President-elect Trump, in terms of the Mar-a-Lago classified documents case, the January 6th case. Incoming President Trump is not comfortable with him, which is his right as the president-elect coming in to choose whom he wants to be in that position. But right now, the FBI, one of the more revered institutions through the years, has become a part of the political crossfire in Washington. Christopher Wray clearly trying to lessen that intensity as he leaves office.
Pierre, how do you think this affects that sentiment now, and what are you watching for next?
I think the key now, again, is how long would it take to get a new FBI director confirmed, and what happens in this interim period. We've been talking to key sources in the federal government, law enforcement, intelligence officials, and they all talk about the fact that the transition between administrations is one of the more vulnerable times for the country. Also, we know since October 7th of 2023, the country has been in an elevated threat environment, both in terms of domestic threats, also threats like ISIS as well, and the FBI director is at the forefront of dealing with those kinds of threats.
All right, our Chief Justice Correspondent Pierre Thomas. Pierre, thank you again. FBI Director Christopher Wray is announcing he will step down at the end of this administration. We have much more coverage on ABC News Live, and David Muir will have much more on World News Tonight. I'm Diane Macedo. Have a great rest of the day.
Report from ABC News.
Video Jingle Ball. All right, Diane, thank you. I want to continue our breaking news coverage now, coming straight from the DOJ. FBI Director Christopher Wray, as we have just learned, has resigned. Wray was first appointed to lead the Bureau by President Donald Trump during his first term in 2017 after Trump fired James Comey. Before that, he was an assistant U.S. attorney in Georgia and was then appointed to be assistant attorney general for the DOJ's criminal division by President George W. Bush. Wray's term was set to expire in 2027, but as you know, Trump recently announced that he was going to appoint a loyalist, Kash Patel, to be FBI director in his second term. The president-elect has promised major reforms to the FBI and the DOJ as a whole when he takes over next month. Our Chief Justice Correspondent Pierre Thomas and former FBI agent Asha Rangappa join me now via phone, as we are actually, you're with me, Pierre, here in the Bureau. When you got news that this was breaking, you got right up on camera for us. Why don't you first just tell me, are you surprised that this happened now before the end of this administration?
Look, here, I think that we had been anticipating how Christopher Wray would react once President-elect Trump announced that Kash Patel was his choice to lead the FBI pending confirmation. And clearly, Chris Wray had a decision to make, whether to simply just stay in the job and wait to be fired by President-elect Trump, or to come up with a determination and make it clear to the Bureau and to its employees and to its agents of how long he would serve in the job, so there would be some clarity about the transition. What he announced today at a town hall with employees, FBI employees, which is still ongoing, I believe, just only moments ago, is that he's going to resign effective at the end of the current administration, i.e., when Donald Trump is sworn in as President of the United States, Christopher Wray will be leaving office. He said that he's doing this in part so that the FBI is not sort of dragged more into the fray. As you know, Kira, Washington is a town of political crossfire, and the FBI is not immune from that anymore. Although he was appointed by President Trump in his first term, Christopher Wray also, his agents led the investigation into the classified documents case. They also led the January 6th investigation in terms of being the agents on the ground looking into those matters. Clearly, former President Trump was not happy about how Wray conducted himself and wants new leadership at the FBI. The key now, Kira, is how long of an interim period will we have between Wray stepping down and a new FBI director being confirmed?
So, Pierre, I guess he's announcing that he's resigning. So when exactly does he, stop work? Pack up his things and leave the office? Does he stay leading the FBI until, for how long?
Again, he said effective at the end of the administration, January 20th, he's done. Period.
Okay.
Full stop.
Got it. All right. Asha, are you surprised that this happened?
Well, I'm not surprised that he has an intention to step down at the end of this administration, since Trump has made it clear that he is going to replace him. We can look back to what happened with James Comey. James Comey was giving a talk in L.A., in the L.A. field office, and he learned from watching the television that he had been fired. He almost didn't have a flight back because he wasn't allowed to get on whatever his jet was. I'm sure that, Christopher Wray doesn't want to have that kind of abrupt departure that puts the Bureau into chaos. He wants to have time to let all of this settle and create a transition period. But I just want to emphasize what a departure from the norms this is. We've become used to presidents firing FBI directors, but before Trump fired James Comey in 2017, the only other director of the FBI who had been fired was William Sessions by President Clinton, and that was because he had ethical violations. So I just want to emphasize that, we are really moving our norms here in terms of the relationship between the White House or incoming White House and the FBI.
All right. Asha Rangappa, Pierre Thomas, thank you both so much. Again, FBI Director Christopher Wray resigning from his post. Breaking news that will continue to follow. As you can see, the news never stops. Neither do we. You can find us anywhere you stream live news. And if there's breaking news, we'll get it right to you. If you're on the go, we're on the ABC News app, abcnews.com too. I'm Kira Phillips. Glad you're streaming with us. Stay with us. We've got a lot more news up next.